phase 1 of alpha and what exactly happened this week. What's up guys, Petko here. So there are 6 phases of alpha. Phase 1 happened this week. For the past 6 days we will be having it. I've been practicing a lot and I'm here to cover today everything important about this so you guys know what's happening. Alright, so first thing before we begin, for the people that do not know, the season 1 dungeons are gonna be the 4 new ones from Midnight, Dragonflight, Augetar Academy, Seat of Triumph from Legion, Skyreach Draenor, and Pit of Saturn of Lich King. Now, it's a very interesting one because previously they discussed they're not going to include any Wrath of the Lich Kings or dungeons made below, I guess, Cataclysm, but apparently they're including Wrath. I wouldn't be surprised if in the future we see TBC dungeons or classic dungeons turn into Mythic Plus, which is honestly a good thing. Why not? You know, spice up the game a little bit. That's fine. So that's kind of the first important thing you gotta know. The second important thing, all the class reworks. Now, I'm not gonna cover into detail about every single class and their rework. I've made a 2-hour video talking about each and every single spec and their rework. I'm gonna just attach it down below if you guys wanna take a look or skip through the timestamp on whatever class you're interested in. Very small disclaimer, I guess, spoiler. Havoc DH also included in that mix. I think overall speaking, if you guys have a chance to play the spec, you're gonna see how fun it is from a mobility point of view. Now look at this right now. You have so many charges. You gotta charge in, you can backwards dash, you get to teleport upstairs, teleport downstairs, teleport to the side, you know, you're pretty mobile. Imagine Devastation and Havoc DH combined together. That's pretty much what Devour DH is. And on top of this, it's a caster. You know, you can like move around, for example. You can DPS, you can cast while moving. You know, see like that. Which is, I think, pretty cool. And most of your abilities are connected to Havoc DH. You have like the beam. Your meta is now not a cooldown based, it's like an orb based. And you kind of, you know, get to cleave. You get like, it's kind of like a Sintra combined with like Havoc DH together, semi-melee, semi-range. I don't know. It is kind of a little bit weird, but once you get to play it, you get used to it. That's pretty much, you know, that's TL'DR. Second important thing is the the forever changing way to play Mythic Plus. Most of your lockouts are going to be increased by either 2 or 3 seconds lockout. Now, for the people that don't know what it means, it's fairly simple. You'll be able to interrupt a mob, and that mob is going to be locked for longer. So every time you're fighting 2 or 3 casters, that means less casts will begin to cast and go through potentially, which obviously is going to be way healthier for the game to begin with, because let's be honest, majority of the time people deplete once they have triple caster and you play a full puck. Obviously, if you're pre-mating, 3 casters might not be problematic, but let's be honest, most of the people here are not really pre-mating. So that's about it. And once again, I'm not going to cover the class changes. Check out the video that I made below this. Will make a lot of sense. Next to the menu, they are doubling down on the removal of add-ons and the removal of weak hours. The most current, I guess the most famous topic right now is the removal of weak hour coming into Midnight. Now, the developer of the weak hours are pretty confident that if nothing has changed, if nothing will change on Blizzard API, they will stop supporting weak hours starting in Midnight. Which again, if that really happens and Midnight is the first expansion where weak hours add-on doesn't work, it will be pretty tough for the player base to adapt to playing classes to the best extent if they can without weak hours. I'm not saying it's impossible, just a bit tougher to do it. Now, what is the reason why they disabled weak hours? It's pretty evident. They're trying to make the game like that you don't need to have an external add-ons for weak hours to play it in the most optimal way possible, which I don't think it is possible at the current stage of alpha. There's a lot of things that are missing right now. I'm going to show in a bit, but that's the intention. That's why they're removing it. They're also removing other important add-ons, like for example, Plater, KUI, AVI nameplates are going to get removed, and they're adding their own customizable version of nameplate, something like Plater, but built in WoW. So I believe the long run for the game is that they really want to make sure that they have everything you need to play the game without having to install anything extra, and making sure this game likely to come on console in the next couple years, making a lot more players join in playing from their console, because once again, they're looking at players that haven't played WoW, those so-called beginners. So they really want to make sure a lot more people are, customized and welcome to the game without having to install 10,000 different week hours. And by the way, for the speaking about add-ons and week hours, Details is the next add-on that is going to be likely prohibited, and instead it's going to be completely worked from Blizzard. That's their, their UI, etc., which I think would be pretty exciting news. So if I gotta be honest with you, especially after finding out that they're developing their own add-on. So that's about because I know people are disappointed, but it is what it is. I guess we gotta give it a try once we have more information. So that's about phase 1. That's everything that happened in phase 1. Now keep in mind that phase 1 is mostly for the big class reworks, the new Apex talents, the new zones. We already discovered new zones. We did the chapters. We haven't leveled to 83 yet. We'll level them to 82, but I'm pretty sure tomorrow I'm gonna catch up. Phase 2 is supposed to start this week, anywhere between Thursday and Friday. Now they did say that they want to have it every single week new phase. However, this could be delayed because, again, remember, this week is also going to be Legion Remix, which is already happening in 3 hours from now, give or take, maybe 4, depending on downtime on the server. So technically speaking, you're probably going to experience at some point phase 2. Dungeons. So I haven't really run those 2 dungeons. I was on holidays for 3 days. So those 2 I haven't run, but I'll get back to them likely this week, rerun them, and try the new ones. Right, this one, Den of Nal'Rok and Meister Caverns. I think Den of Nal'Rok is in Zulaman area. If anybody has played TBC before, which is gonna be pretty cool. I have not checked the Delves, but Delves design is not gonna be any different. It's pretty much gonna be what you know. Get there, kill this, collect this, get reward, get the fuck out of there. And we expect also class changes, more Apex talents, and more reworks coming in the following weeks as we progress through. Once phase 5 is done, phase 6 should be the final alpha phase. That's where a lot of people will start to get introduced to beta. If you are opting for beta, that's when you can expect to get access to beta. If you're being invited, which pretty much means by November, maybe middle of November, we should already have beta of midnight, which, if you follow the pattern of what they've always done so with alpha and beta, expansion per calculation should arrive somewhere in February, January-ish, give or take, although it is pretty early to, conclude that. Anyway, that was everything, guys, so far. Once again, I'm going to make a phase every single week. I'm going to make a phase dive. Make sure to follow the channel in case you're missing something, and I'll make sure to, keep you up to date with all the information that you need to play the game. Follow for more. See you guys next time.